In today's episode of Bill and Frank's Guilt-Free Pleasures, I think we talk about the saddest song we've ever done.
We talk about a singer who might be the most hated man in Britain.
And even if he may be the most hated man, he's still the only one who brought us a trumpet solo for a number one song.
This is our discussion through Holding Back the Years by Simply Red.
Frank, are you doing okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
we just listened to a song, and I'm looking for those tears. And you picked the song today, and I'm worried you're not going to make it through this episode.
I might not. I was excited when we started to record that you came in with a coffee, but you got my order wrong again. So I'm going to try and hold back these tears.
I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. Holding, holding, holding on.
Now, before we jump into this, I did get the correct order. They just didn't have your special featured dark roast at the location I went to. So you ended up with just a medium regular coffee. And I feel it's fitting that you had a bit of a tantrum when I came in.
It wasn't a bit of a tantrum.
No,
that
it
was
was-
a big tantrum.
It was a big tantrum. Unlike Mick Hucknall, your tantrum was kind of funny and you were playing it up. But from what I've read, I don't know if you haven't seen this, but
No.
I have read some crazy things about the lead singer of Simply Red.
I had no idea that he was the subject of such vitriol and hatred online.
Let me just bring up a couple things. Not that we're a negative podcast, but I'm just amazed at the stuff I read here. We have Noel Gallagher called him Fanta Pants, which I don't even understand. But
No.
I don't think I want to. But that doesn't really mean too much because it's Noel Gallagher. So
Yeah,
that'd be a
he
badge
doesn't
of
like
honor.
anything.
No, he co-owned a restaurant with Sean Penn. How's that? Is that
Oh,
is that-
seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
He reformed the Faces without Rod Stewart and was the substitute lead singer.
Oh, yes, I remember that
Okay.
now.
All right. He was voted one of the top 50 worst Britons in a TV poll in Britain. He was inspired a website called 1,000 People More Annoying Than Mick Hucknall. There's a band. This is an old article. So it was on MySpace, only had 4 followers.
Yeah.
The name of the band was called The Execution of Mick Hucknall.
Wow.
And there's other websites I can't even say aloud in our podcast about hatred for him. They interviewed people who were in the band
Yeah.
who just talked about how nasty he was as a person.
Oh, really?
One said he's not an uninteresting human being. He's just a bad person.
Oh, okay.
It was like the type of compliment that's really awful. So it almost sounded like the guy from Third Eye Blind. So there's some crazy things. He's close friends with Tony Blair. I got to read this. This quote is crazy to me, but I don't know if I have it here, but he said something along the lines of, oh, I told Tony not to go into Iraq, but he didn't listen to me.
Oh, seriously?
I'm like, oh, come on. Okay, so there's more. There's more, Frank.
Yeah.
He claimed from 1985 to 87 to do something that even Wilt Chamberlain could not do. He slept with 3,000 women in the span of a 2-year period, or 3-year, I guess we're counting 85. I
Yeah.
hope so, because he said 3 people a day.
That's bonkers.
It's bonkers. So
Yeah. Good Wilt Chamberlain reference, though.
thank you. The press despise him. And so a lot of the things I saw was much more positive, but there is a joy in the hatred from the British press. But I know some of the UK press can be very nasty.
Yes, exactly. And I didn't read any of that because I was looking strictly at the facts
Yeah, that's right.
of the artist and the song and all of that. And I was going to lean into calling him our generation's Ed Sheeran, but I think that might be a disservice to Ed Sheeran.
It could be. It could be. Oh, there's more, Frank. Okay. Oh, I got one. Wait a second. I got to bring this one up. He famously said, I'm one of the best singer-songwriters this country has produced, period. Ever, period. Tom Jones told me only a few singers have got the pipes. And he's right. He has. Sinatra did. I have.
He knows that Sinatra isn't from England, right?
Yeah, maybe they stitched together those.
Yeah.
Either way, there you go. But I did want to come back to one key thing about Mick Hucknall and his band Simply Red.
Yes.
Although I don't know if it's fair to call it his band since he seems to be the only person.
Well,
except
that's
one
consistent.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you, like Mick Hucknall, have red hair.
Yes.
And what percent of the world has that?
I think it's 3% are natural redheads.
Right. Okay. So is this partly why you picked this song?
Partly. Also, I really, really love the song.
Yeah.
But I think it's mostly because of the red hair.
Okay. I was talking to a friend at school who's on this podcast half the time, Dave Kitchen.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And I said, oh, Frank wants to do Simply Red. He goes, oh. And he starts snapping his fingers. He goes, Holding Back the Years? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
So it is a song that is beloved, and it went to #1 in the States.
Yep.
I guess we'll get to this in the backstory here. And why don't we start with a bit of a, well, I guess I just said it, a bit of a backstory, Frank? You got some history for me?
Of Simply Red or
Mick Hucknall.
Mick Hucknall?
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to talk about Simply Red.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about how much Mick Hucknall is hated.
Okay, all right.
But we will say a little bit about him at the beginning here. The song was inspired by his familial relationship with his father and his mother. So
Yep.
when he was 3, his mother left the family.
Right.
He grew up being raised by his father, and his father just doing all he could to support and care for Mick. From what I understand, he was a bit tough on him.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the old school, tough barber guy.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was blue collar.
Yeah.
He was a barber. And you
Yeah.
told me that his mother was also
A hairdresser.
A
I think that's
hairdresser?
how
Yeah.
they met. And
okay.
I read one version of the story where he was actually with his mom for like the first 2 years, and then she couldn't handle it and brought him to his dad.
Oh, okay.
So there's versions of the story that kind of shift and change.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep being negative. Someone described him as totally insincere, but I don't think that means he lied about his past, just
Yeah.
how he behaves, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that sort of paints a couple of the stories that I have about him and the band in a different light.
Totally.
Yeah.
There's no denying his talent.
He does have pipes.
He does. He has a great voice. And up until I read all these negative things, I was very Hucknall positive because
Yeah.
I just assumed he had a rough life and it was tough on him because he doesn't look like a bona fide star, but turns out he's quite the quote unquote Casanova.
Gotcha. Yep.
My favorite Simply Red song is Something Got Me Started. I remember seeing it when I was in high school
Okay.
on Much Music.
Yes, yeah.
And it only went to I think on the Much Music countdown, number 29 or something, which angered me because I thought it was one of the greatest songs I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
But it turns out it did really well everywhere else in
Yeah.
the world. And that album, Stars, is maybe the 4th or 14th, I think the 14th best-selling album in UK history.
Really?
It's crazy.
Okay.
So this is long after this album. This album is Picture Book, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me more about Simply Red, Frank.
More about Simply Red.
Yeah.
Yes. Mick Hucknall is the anchor of the band, right? Like
Right.
he's what brings everybody together.
Right.
He was initially in a punk group called the Frantic Elevators.
Yes.
And he had written this song and performed it with the Frantic Elevators. But it was a little bit different. They added on the chorus when Simply Red recorded the song.
Did you listen to much of the Frantic Elevators?
No.
Did you hear this version of the song?
No.
Oh, well, okay. Okay. Well, we'll talk
Like
about
I said,
it.
I stuck only to the facts.
Yeah, exactly. So he claims to have been one of the few people in attendance. Apparently, there's only 60 people who saw the show and
Yeah.
about 120,000 people who claimed to be there.
Yeah.
Something like that. He was at the original Sex Pistols show in Manchester.
Oh, okay.
So his band, I'm going to play a little sample of it here for you.
Okay.
Have to try, you will. Turn the tide, tears spill. Good thing is, they say, things just start this way. Every day, I die. Every day, I die. Every day, I die. Every day.
So that's one song, Frank, right? They only released a couple songs, I think, that ever made it as singles.
Yeah.
And that sounds like punk music, I guess.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I'm going to show you a picture of the cover for Holding Back the Years, the single from Frantic
Oh,
Elevators.
okay. Yeah.
That's him with a gun in his mouth.
Oh.
Yeah, it's awful. But from the beginning, where you hear that punk sound, to what he was interested in by the end here with Holding Back the Years, it's a different sound.
Yeah, because I guess there was an evolution through the Frantic Elevators because Simply Red is more blue-eyed soul.
Totally.
And I'm guessing that they kind of progressed that way as well.
Yeah, so here, I'm just going to play this. I didn't do a lot of listening to the Frantic Elevators, but this is like, I think, the final single that they did, I think, anyways.
Holding back the years, chance for me escape from all I've known. Holding back the tears, 'cause nothing here is grown.
I will say that his voice doesn't scream punk to me.
Not at all. And it is something to see it improve from the very beginning. I mean, he is only a teenager, I think.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
He's born in 61, so he would have been 17 or 18 when they started it, maybe.
Yeah.
The band. By the end, though, he's really shifted. This has like a surf music Dick Dale sound to me.
It has a bit of a surf punk aesthetic. Very, like, slowed down.
Yeah. Or in my head, like the Twin Peaks David Lynch music. That's what I'm hearing.
Yep,
so, but either way, he also is really interested in reggae. And this comes up later. And what he uses with the $60 million he has amassed over his lifetime. He's released tons of like classic reggae, basically keeping a history or an archive that no one else would have done. So he's done some great work.
Yeah.
Yeah, this song existed long before Simply Red started.
The Frantic Elevators, they were around from about 77 to 84. So they break up. And yeah, you're correct. Their final single is Holding Back the Years. So after the Frantic Elevators break up, Hucknall is involved with a manager, Elliot Rashman, who gets a number of session musicians to get together and perform and record. And they start garnering some attention from the labels. They eventually signed to Elektra. And they had a number of different names through their whole incarnation as they're forming and creating Simply Red. So they were called World Service, Red and the Dancing Dead, and then just Red. Mick Hucknall's nickname was Red growing up. And then Hucknall decided they would add the word Simply in front of Red. So that's how they become Simply Red.
Right. One version of the story I heard is he heard the manager guy, whose name I immediately have forgotten.
Elliot Rashman?
Yeah, trying to explain the name to someone. He goes, yeah, it's Red. Simply Red. And then there's also a story. And so this is where Mick Hucknall, I think, tells different versions of the story, but where he tell people, the name is just like, it's just Simply Red. Right?
Yeah,
but it just ended up working. And it works.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
Oh, it's a great name for a band, yeah. They signed with Elektra in 85, and the lineup at the time was Hucknall, David Fryman, who was on guitar, Tony Bowers on bass, Fritz McIntyre on keyboard and vocals, Tim Collette, he's a brass player, so trumpet and all that other sort of fun stuff, and then Chris Joyce on drums.
Right. And so in the beginning, that first album, they're like a band, understood to be a band.
Yeah.
But then as time goes on, it really becomes Simply Mick, even though he's also the only guy with red hair.
Yeah, exactly. We should also mention, though, that was the initial band. However, they recorded one track called Red Box, and then Fryman left the group, and then he was replaced by Sylvan Richardson on guitar.
Right. And then Sylvan Richardson, he leaves, another guy comes in. These are the guys who had a lot of negative things to say about Mick Hucknall. But that's life, I guess.
Yep.
But this song, he wrote when he was 17, which means he would have been in the Frantic Elevators by then if he's born in 61.
He was born in 1960, from what I could tell.
All
right at the beginning of Frantic Elevators, he writes this song at 17 years old.
He's in art school.
Yeah, and it's funny because a teacher said that some of the best paintings are done just this stream of consciousness. You're not even thinking, you're just sort of doing. So he decides this is how he's going to write a couple of songs.
Yeah.
And he writes two songs. The first one is called Ice Cream and Wafers. And then the second one that he writes is Holding Back the Years. I really want to hear Ice Cream and Wafers.
Yeah, I've never seen it out there, or he hasn't released it. There's no way he doesn't still have that song
I'm sure.
somewhere.
Yeah. I'm sure it's probably a little bit embarrassing, though.
Right. And the second one he wrote is his Torch song.
Yes.
Right? This is a incredible piece to be written by a 17-year-old, but also feels in some ways that a 17-year-old could sense this about life. But it's kind of funny that he could feel like he's wasted all these years. He's only 17, but I remember being 17. And we have our good friends, the Julies, have a song called Teenage Sadness.
Yeah.
Which says this lasts longer than even love can. Teenage sadness is forever.
It's forever, yes.
Yeah. And this is Teenage Sadness.
So it wasn't until he finished writing the song that he actually realized what it was about.
Right.
It was just kind of the words coming out onto a page, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, this is about me growing up and my family life and the struggles I had dealing with my relationships with my mother and my father.
Right. And it's about leaving, right?
Yes.
He's talked about that. So he knows he's leaving. He hasn't left yet.
Yeah.
You know, to his credit too, he doesn't misspeak, I think, about his dad. His
No.
dad, even when he was super wealthy, I think by the second or third album, his dad said, okay, well, you know, at some point you're going to have to actually get a real job.
Yes, I read that too. I think it was after a show, after a concert,
Yeah.
and his dad had a couple of drinks in him or something like that and said this. That reminds me of an experience that I had growing up. So when I got into university, super excited that I actually got accepted somewhere because I wasn't accepted by many places.
Okay. I mean, sorry to laugh. I wasn't sure where you're going with that. Okay.
I got my acceptance letter in the mail and I told my dad, and his comment was, well, you know, this is going to be really difficult. I was like, is he even proud of me? I don't understand this. I don't understand where this is coming from. I'm a teenager, obviously, at this point. And my dad, similarly, blue collar worker, construction
Right.
worker, site superintendent, and all of that. I was excited about being into university, and my dad's comment was, you know, it's going to be difficult. Turns out it actually was. Turns out I almost failed out in the first semester. In the back of my head, I was always thinking, is my dad even proud of me? And I didn't realize how proud he actually was of me until I was home for a weekend, and then he drove me back to university, and it was a Monday morning, and he was working on a job site, which was north of Toronto, and driving from the Niagara region, which is an hour and a half. So he would do that every single day to this job site at a hospital where they were doing a renovation. And I never thought anything of it. So we go up to the job site, and then he's going to drive me into downtown Toronto where school was. Trust me, Bill, this is going somewhere.
I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm with you on the car. I can sense it. Okay.
And of course, the night before, I was a bit of a jerk kid because I think actually I was out with you and
Yeah.
Nate.
I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah. We went out for drinks. Yes.
Well, I think we went to the casino in Niagara Falls, and I was driving my parents' car, which was about a week old. I didn't have a curfew, but I didn't let them know when I was coming home. I got home at around like 2 a.m.
Right.
And my parents are not happy with me because I have their brand new car out for the evening. Anyways, they're not happy. The next morning, my dad takes me to his job site, and this is when it really clued in for me. He's walking around and introducing me to every single person on that job site, tradesperson or administration from the hospital that they're working on. This is my son, Frank, and he's studying architecture at this school, and like how proud he was of me. So there's just certain ways that people express how they feel. And
Right.
I can sympathize with Mick Hucknall in that instance where his father, who just didn't maybe grasp that idea that he was as famous and a big deal as he was because he only knew that world that he grew up in and how he worked hard, right? Because this is a different type of lifestyle, obviously.
And you know he was hugely proud of his son.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Which
right?
is which is great to hear. I mean, the stuff with his mom, oh, it's a tough one. I guess we'll get to that too while we go through the song.
Yeah.
But it is something. So I'm feeling a little more sympathetic towards the poor guy.
Yeah.
I can't say poor guy. He has $60 million. So, and he could date whoever he wanted and seemed like he dated everybody.
Yeah.
You know he dated Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Oh, really?
There's a list of people he dated.
Oh, wow.
This guy he could date whoever he wanted. I think it's that Something Got Me Started video.
Oh, okay.
Quite the dance moves.
Yes.
But this is a whole different story for Holding Back the Years.
So we were somewhere, and then I hijacked the entire episode here, telling a sob story about how my dad's actually proud of me.
Well, now we know why you picked this song. You're the guy in the video.
I am.
Yeah. You're trying to jump on the rails or whatever.
All I can say, though, is my dad and my family are incredibly supportive of me. They did their best raising me, and I turned out...
How do they feel about the podcast and the pub you built in your backyard?
Actually, that's funny because I didn't tell them about the pub that I was building until it was pretty much done because I thought they would be disappointed in me. Turns out they love this place.
Oh, good. Well, there we go. We're doing well. Okay, well, I think Mick Hucknall said it wasn't his idea to use Holding Back the Years for Simply Red, but maybe it was the manager who mentioned it. But either way, this isn't their first single.
No.
The first single was covered the song by, was it Valentine Boys or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And what was it? Money's Too Tight to Mention.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
Yep.
Was a hit across Europe, apparently. I think Holding Back the Years might have been the first single. I'm not sure. I'm sure you have a wiki page in front of you to tell you, but it didn't do much of anything. This other song did really well in Europe, Money's Too Tight to Mention.
Mm-hmm.
And so the story goes that there was a band that came to the UK, and either their manager played it for them or they heard this song, but they had the album, listened to it, really liked the album, came home, were on a radio station in San Francisco that was a really famous radio station.
Mm-hmm.
And the DJ said to Huey Lewis, said, "Hey, Huey, you're in England. What'd you hear over there? Is there anything great going on?" He said, "I heard this band called Simply Red, and they got this album called Picture Book, and it's great. And then there's this one track on it that's really great called Holding Back the Years." So the DJ plays Holding Back the Years, and then the phones start lighting up. People are asking, what is this song?
Yeah.
And that moment is where the song took off.
Yeah.
And it just spread across California. And then, Frank, it
Swept the nation.
there you go.
Because it was released initially in 85, but didn't do a whole lot, but then re-released in 86. That's when it sweeps the nation.
Yeah, number one. Went to
Yep.
number one. I can't believe they had two number ones. I can't believe this went to number one in the year that Invisible Touch was out. It's not even, because that was the Genesis year. You know, Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel, Frank, and Mike and the Oh, you don't want me to talk anymore.
But you understand that Invisible Touch was not number one for all 52 weeks of 1986, right?
In my heart it was, though.
Yes, okay.
So here we are. This is unlike anything else that I can think of. I mean, if the album's great and has some definite 80s production,
Yeah.
but this feels much different from Nasty by Janet Jackson.
Yeah, or Invisible Touch by Genesis.
Or Invisible Touch by Genesis. I know that sounds like I'm going to start playing it, but we're not. We're going to jump into this song. So there's about 25 seconds and then he jumps in. But at the very beginning of that instrumental section that brings us in, it feels like...
You mean the introduction?
Yeah, that's another way of putting it. It feels like they'd already been playing for a couple minutes and they just hit record at some point.
Yeah, it feels like they're kind of just noodling around a little bit.
Yeah, but if you hear the 12-inch extended mix, usually I hate 12-inch singles. I've talked about this before. The extended version is just the same song, just with more, which I guess makes sense with extended version, but it doesn't change the mix or anything.
Yeah.
And it actually has a proper beginning where you hear the drum go tsk, you know, where that's when they do the tsk. That's how it sounds when they start playing.
Yeah, the cymbals.
Yes.
Okay. They're not opening a pop can?
No.
Okay.
No, but I imagine they could just use cymbals if they wanted the sound of an opening a pop
That's
can
true,
in a
yes.
movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, there we go. Any feels about that, what you would call an introduction to the song?
I like that you put that in quotes.
Yeah.
It does have this sort of contemplative feel to it. There's the kind of noodling around, but then there's probably about 6-7 seconds before Mick Hucknall starts to sing.
Yeah.
And you get a feeling that this is heavy subject matter.
Yeah, it's like a sit-down song. Like,
Yes.
you can't just roller skate to this.
No,
It's take off.
no.
Take off the skates,
Yeah.
go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
and sit on a toilet and cry. Well, that's very specific. Let
Yeah.
me try again. Just sit back, listen to it somewhere by yourself, turn all the lights off.
Yeah, and try to hold back the tears.
Yes. And no one's going to see you cry
No, exactly.
or hear you scream.
That's in Space, Bill.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so here is verse 1. Holding back the years, thinking of the fear I've had so long. When somebody hears, listen to the fear that's gone. And I'm stopping there because Genius Lyrics says that's verse 1.
Yeah.
I went to the Simply Red website where they actually included the next part that Genius calls a bridge, but we'll just go to that point.
Holding back the years, thinking of the fear I've had so long. When somebody hears, listen to the fear that's gone.
Now, this is a 17-year-old writing stream of consciousness, going for rhymes, and there's deep themes going on here, but I do get a bit confused.
Yeah, I'm going to confess something to you here, Bill.
Yeah.
99% of the time when we do an episode, when we go through the lyrics, that's my first time reading the lyrics.
No, that's not funny. Okay, now you're just staring at me. Okay, well, I am the opposite.
I talk about how the lyrics make me feel.
Okay, well,
I don't care about what they actually say.
Oh my gosh. Okay, listen. Listen up. This works because it was stream of consciousness. You can listen, I guess, stream of consciousness. Holding back the years, thinking of the fear I've had so long. So you're asking yourself, maybe, what is this fear?
Yeah.
Right? When somebody hears, listen to the fear that's gone. So the fear he's had is now gone. Who's the somebody hearing? How's he holding back years? What's that mean?
I don't know, but...
You know how it feels.
Yeah, well, I know how it feels, but the feeling I get when I read this is you're keeping something bottled inside, but once you admit that, that's when somebody hears. So this is when your confession of whatever you've been afraid of.
Right, but then it's gone.
Yeah.
The fear's gone.
Yeah, well, once you verbalize something, sometimes there's this cathartic feel that happens when you, pardon my language here, but when you barf out your emotions.
Right, okay.
I've had experiences with that. Like,
right.
Do you want to hear another 30-minute story about how I barfed out my emotions and felt really good?
You feel better, but we're all covered in your verbal vomit.
Yes.
Right, okay. So there is something to the gone part that you'd think would be positive, but it doesn't give me that feeling at all when I'm hearing this. And the way he says hears has this vibrato, like, it's not like that because he's not a goat.
Yeah,
but,
I was going to say.
But he does something with his voice. It is amazing that this punk kid, and when I say punk, I mean really true punk rock kid, suddenly finds that he has a voice kind of both like an angel, but also this sort of earthly creature that can summon these deep emotions.
Yes, exactly. It's akin to a Sinatra or a Tom Jones.
Exactly. He's the Celine Dion of the UK. Yeah. So, all right, we nailed it there. Okay, let's go to what Genius calls bridge. I don't accept that term because it's bridging from verse 1 to verse 2, and I like bridges going to choruses.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to accept that bridge. But here's what he says. Strangled by the wishes of Pater, hoping for the arms of Mater, get to me the sooner or later.
Strangled by the wishes of Pater, hoping for the arms of Mater, get to me the sooner or later.
For a 17-year-old to bring out terms like pater and mater for father and mother, that to me gives this feeling of maturity.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Right. Even precociousness. To go for Latin instead of English. Like, okay, pater and mater, they rhyme really well with later.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Works.
Yeah.
That's a pretty genius move, actually, to get that. But also recognizing that he's got his father's dreams for his life, limited dreams possibly, and what his dad understands.
Well, because his dad just wants him to work hard and put his head down, get a job, like not a singer. And,
totally.
Yeah.
Because singing, there's no guarantees in it, for sure. No. And you're thinking in the late 70s, the economy is terrible. In Britain,
you love talking economy, don't you?
But UK economy, post-war economy, it doesn't go well for I don't know how long, but I'm thinking late 70s, you got Thatcher's coming in soon. It's tough times.
Yeah.
And so you have him also hoping for the arms of Mater. That makes me so sad.
Yeah. Oh, very much so.
I also, though, was thinking about how for his first 3 years, he was with his mom, so there would have been some kind of nurturing there. I don't want to take away from his grief and anger and loss, but I was wondering about his mom's story. And that maybe there is something there where she knew she couldn't do it, gave him up to the dad, and there's resentment there from the dad for sure.
I read that after this song came out and after Simply Red made it big, that his mother tried to reconnect with him. And that really upset his father.
Right.
And so he cut it off at that point because, well, I wasn't good enough for you until I became famous. Now that I'm famous, like now.
True.
I can understand some resentment there, but the hoping for the arms of Mater, because when you're 3, I don't know if you remember your life at 3. I certainly do not. But there's a lot of childhood left in your life at that point. So
yeah, you're right.
For me, from 3 until 48, I still have 45 years of childhood.
Yeah, that's right. But I didn't think about that. From 3 to 7,
Yeah.
or 3 to 10,
Yeah.
you have you're missing out on a maternal presence. Although he
Yeah.
was surrounded by women, there was women.
Well, there was 3,000 between the years of
Yeah, that's
85
right.
to 87.
I'm no psychoanalyst, but I have a feeling there's something he's trying to make up for. But I know he did have girls that he grew up around, but he didn't have a mom around, and that's horrible. I'm going to add to the story I don't think you've heard. It's going to make you feel even worse about the situation. His mom reached out in the 90s. She's living in the States to try to reconnect because she had a terminal illness, terminal cancer.
Seriously? Oh, no.
So he did come back to see her.
Oh, okay.
You ready for this, Frank? He said she was lying. She did not have terminal cancer at all. Yeah. And then he left again. So I just want to, just to add to the misery of this.
Wow, that's
Okay. Sorry
that's
about that.
rough.
It's just horrible.
Oh, man.
And sometimes I wish I didn't do so much research.
So you just need to talk about how the song makes you feel, like I do.
Yeah. So then he ends with "Get to Me the Sooner or Later," but I wonder about "Get to Me Sooner or Later" is either being strangled or falling into the arms of somebody. But you get that sense of the 17-year-old who's just feeling both lost and strangled, which is two conflicting feelings: someone too close and someone too far.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is what he's holding back. Holding back would be like if you're moving forward, but you're also holding back these years. Are these the things you're taking with you on your journey? Oh, okay. There's something
I think so,
there.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's read that.
I mean, I read the lyrics about 5 minutes ago, so this is my in-depth analysis.
This isn't chorus. This is verse 2, right?
Yes.
Okay. Also, interestingly, the chorus isn't the song title. It's these verses.
Yeah.
And interestingly, when we get to the chorus isn't in the original thing he wrote.
No,
Okay.
exactly.
Oh, man. Okay. So
And the chorus happens quite late. It's almost
late.
2 minutes
2
in.
minutes in,
Yeah.
that's right. So here's verse 2. Holding back the years, chance for me to escape from all I've known. Holding back the tears, 'cause nothing here has grown.
Holding back the years, chance for me escape from all I've known. Holding back the tears, 'cause nothing here has grown.
All right, Frank, your turn.
My turn?
Yeah. Tell me how you feel.
It makes me sad. This song
so-
makes me sad.
I can't believe you picked like the saddest possible song. Maybe we should just have a month of Bill and Frank Break Your Heart.
Yeah, maybe we should have a sad bastard month. This is definitely a sad bastard song.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So he's saying, holding back the years, he has a chance to escape everything he's known, holding back the tears because nothing here has grown. So he's just like there's the nothing is the big word.
Yeah, nothing has grown is sad because it tells me like nothing's changed. Like there hasn't been any progression in the relationship. Everything is stagnant. It's the same as it ever was.
Nice little reference there, Frank. Very good. That is a much happier song somehow.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to jump right to what Genius calls pre-chorus. It's whatever it is, because it just links perfectly to this, because maybe this is more like a bridge. I don't know. Anyways, I've wasted all my tears, wasted all those years, and nothing had the chance to be good. Nothing ever could. Yeah. Oh, well. He says, oh, well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so depressing.
I've wasted all my tears, wasted all those years. Nothing had the chance to be good. Nothing ever could, yeah. Oh.
All right, Frank, we're thinking of him saying nothing has grown. Then he says, I've wasted tears, years.
Yeah.
And nothing could be good because nothing ever could.
Yeah.
That is
It's so defeatist.
rock bottom.
Yeah.
And it is very much teenage sadness, 17-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I can't get this teenage sadness thing out of my head. I feel
Yeah.
like I don't want to minimize the song because this is a real feeling. But we know about his life from other things he said. It wasn't horrible. He said his dad was good. to him, and there
his
was
dad
joy.
tried, right? And his dad put in the effort.
And there was joy.
Yeah.
And he was able to DJ at 14 years old in
Yeah.
clubs in Manchester, which, that's tricky, but he got to be part of this vibrant scene.
Yeah.
And so there was support to some extent for what he could get, but this is this stream of consciousness, teenage sadness, but it does carry on because, man, I've felt this still in my life.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Man, oh man. Okay, but from this, which is in the original 17-year-old version of this, where it's nothing ever could, right? He says that.
Yeah.
But he has now added something that is far more hopeful than anything that's been in the song before.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is. This is the so-called chorus. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on so tight.
I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. So tight.
Okay, is it hopeful or is it that he's holding on to all of these feelings
All right.
from the past years?
It sounds happier.
It sounds happier, but I'm wondering, again, because I read these lyrics about 5 minutes ago, he's holding on to hope or is he holding on to the past?
No, I want this to be happy, Frank.
Okay.
My son said to me yesterday, do all movies end happy? I said, all the ones you watch do. Why? Because that's the ones I choose. Are there such things as sad movies? Yes. Which ones? I don't want to talk about them. I just was like, no, they're all fine. They're all happy. I have trouble dealing with not sadness, but like a lingering sadness.
Yeah.
I guess. But I'll keep holding on. Somehow, I guess musically, it sounds like there's a lift.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, because later on in the song, in the second chorus, because we go from chorus to pre-chorus back to the chorus again.
Right.
At the end of the second chorus, and we'll get to it, he says holding, 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 and he's stepping it up each time. So it gives you that sort of lift and that feeling.
Right.
I wonder if in this chorus, he's talking about holding on to the past.
Right.
And now in the pre-chorus,
Okay.
he's
yeah.
coming back to, if I may, Bill, I'll
Go
read
for
the
it. Yeah, please.
pre-chorus. So, all right, oh now, well, I've wasted all my tears, wasted all of those years, and nothing had the chance to be good, because nothing ever could. Oh yeah, oh.
Well, I wasted all my tears, wasted all of those years, and nothing had the chance to be good, 'cause nothing ever could.
Right. We're back.
That's the pre-chorus, same as the previous one. But this chorus seems to be a little more hopeful because of the way that the music works within it and the way that it swells at the end. And he says, holding, holding, holding now. How was that?
But it's fine. You just knocked down half the pictures here in the Winchester. the mirror's broken. It's wow. You gave it all.
That was my Mick Hucknall.
I was watching him do this live just a few months ago, and
Yeah.
I want to say San Jacinto, but that's a Peter Gabriel song.
It's not Say Wataneo. Is it?
I don't know. Did I get that wrong?
Well, I'm just referencing Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I watched him sing. It was definitely had a Spanish name to it. And he would hold this mic. He has a very particular mic that he uses. And it's like this classic old mic. And he would hold it way back. Like he looked like he was holding it like 4 feet away from him.
Yeah.
And his voice didn't change. So he knew exactly how far to hold the mic back and forth. So they said his voice never cracked. He's 65, I think. It was impeccable. I'm going to put it in the show notes. I couldn't believe it that his voice is still so strong. He's really protected it. But in this song here, you're right, because that pre-chorus before had a lot more of the vibrato stuff. Nothing ever. Ready for this? Could.
Yeah, where he sings like a goat.
That's right. Well, this is going to be in that Hallmark movie, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll keep holding on. Yeah, it swells and moves up, but what's he holding on? Maybe there's something positive? Holding on is also keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep holding on. He's not giving up.
There's a song by Guided by Voices called Hold On Hope.
Yeah.
And it just gives you that, obviously, that hope. You just got to hold on for it. You got to hold on and believe that things are going to change and things are going to get better. And that's the feeling that I get in that second chorus. Again, I'm just reading things on how I feel them.
Yeah, well, that's how the song works.
Exactly. Yeah. Words plus feelings equals music, right?
Yes. Yes.
No. Words plus music equals song. But words plus feelings
equals Frank.
Equals, yes.
Okay.
See, we can break it all down to equations here.
That's right. That's how I do it. I only see things in like binary codes anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in the Matrix.
Exactly.
Well, we nailed that. What I forgot to talk about was that trumpet solo.
Yes.
There's no trumpet solos in any pop songs that I know of.
Yes.
And so,
like in jazz music, yes.
Yes. And this is the Miles Davis kind of blue thing because this is what Tim Kellett, the trumpet player, actually used. He was listening to kind of blue and then he came up with using that thing. And I'm going to apologize to anyone who plays jazz. He puts that thing that looks like part of a toilet plunger inside of a trumpet. So it makes that sound. It's kind of hollow.
Yeah, it's a muted.
There's cork in it.
Yeah, it's a muted sound. Oh, what's it called? I have it here somewhere.
Harmon mute.
That's it.
Bulky metal thing you stick in the end of the trumpet, which is that's the technical term.
Yeah.
To stick it in the trumpet. Now, Tim Kellett's really interesting. He's out of this band called the Durruti Column.
Yes.
I think he and a bunch of his friends were in it, who also just ended up in Simply Red.
Yeah.
But the producer was like a legendary American sax player. This is, I'm just pulling it out of the Guardian article and how they made this song. Stuart Levine was the producer.
Yes.
Or is it Stuart Levine? I like Levine.
I think Levine, yes.
Okay. And so he's a producer, and he wasn't impressed with, I think, Tim Kellett or any of the others and just kind of kicked them out. Like, kicked them out of the band, I think. I don't know how a producer gets to do that, but they were recording in Holland, sent them home.
Yeah.
But when they came back to the UK, Mick Hucknall asked him to come back, and this is where the trumpet solo gets put onto this song.
Yeah.
And it is remarkable.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and you think about the music out in 86 and all the different sounds, but this is stopping everyone in their tracks.
Especially because you think about the 80s and you think about sax solos.
Yeah.
But a trumpet solo, and I get it, they're both brass instruments, but very distinct and different sounds, obviously.
It isn't for like one of those love scenes.
No, exactly.
This is a scene of like regret or reminiscing, nostalgia, but also just deep sadness.
Well, the trumpet has that feel to it because you don't saxophone taps. Right?
That would change war altogether.
Very much so, yeah. It'd make it a lot more sexy.
That's horrible. Let's just play it here just to get the feels and get the tears out anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. We didn't go linearly. We played a trumpet solo after we talked about the second half of the song, but this trumpet solo to me is one of the most remarkable things of this song. And I wouldn't have been able to talk about this 20 years ago, to be honest, outside of Something Got Me Started and Stars. I want to fall from the stars.
You're loving that.
Yeah.
We need to do that song, don't we?
Yeah, but you know what? And I hesitate to say this knowing you, but I hate If You Don't Know Me By Now. I hate it. I remember hearing it on the radio, and I was so angry that I knew I would have to sit there for 45 minutes before I could get to the next song. Now, I know it's not 45 minutes long, but it had a feeling to me that it stopped time. And I wasn't ready or mature enough to deal with Simply Red. And holding back the years, I lumped in with If You Don't Know Me By Now. Now, Frank, I actually do like If You Don't Know Me By Now, just so you know, before you start getting ideas for a Hate Month episode. But
okay, like when you say you like If You Don't Know Me By Now, do you mean the Simply Red version or the Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes version?
The Simply Red version. I love the Harold Melville and the Blue Notes version.
Melvin.
Yeah, so you see how big I am into the band? I make up my own things. I know that's your jam too.
Oh, very much
and
so.
You're very angry.
Honestly, that's one of my favorite songs of all time.
All right. It's like I just gave you a bad coffee.
Yeah.
But no, but the Simply Red one drove me nuts because it just felt so slow. But I just thought he was a big phony. I turned out I really didn't like Simply Red till I heard Something Got Me Started.
Yeah.
But I've come around and I've been patient enough that when I hear this trumpet solo, going back to the trumpet solo, I'm just stopped in my tracks. And there is something about this song that just brings you back to, as we said, teenage sadness, but it also brings us back to human sadness, beyond teenage sadness. But with that ender, where he keeps saying holding on, it lifts it up and it makes the sadness kind of worth it and mean something.
Yeah.
Does that mean anything? Does that make sense?
It makes sense, yes.
Okay. And there's something about sad songs. They say so much, Frank.
Yeah. There'll be sad songs that make you cry.
Look at us.
Love songs often do. Although this isn't a love song.
No, but we just did Elton John, Billy Ocean. We talked about Talking Heads earlier.
Yeah.
We're on a roll.
We are on a roll. And that second chorus rolls right into the outro. And permit me if I may. Ooh la 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 la. I say, oh, well, that's all I have today. It's all I have to say.
I say, that's all I have today. It's all I have to say.
There is something there, right? Where it's like, this is all I have, right? And so it's like he's emptied his emotion. And we, the listener, have also experienced it too.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm going off in a bit of a silly direction here, Bill.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah.
And they're trying to break John Turturro's character out of the prison camp.
Yeah.
And it's George Clooney on Tim Blake Nelson's shoulders. And Tim Blake Nelson is kind of buckling under the weight. And then he says, well, that's all I got. And then it collapses. So that's that's
right.
exactly what I think about here.
This is Mick Hucknall's hitting the ground.
Yeah, that's all I got. There's no more I can give. I've expended all my emotions, everything. I am done.
This should be the last song in a concert to me.
Oh, very much so,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't know what he does. Apparently, his recent set of shows, this is going in chronological order of what he's released.
Oh, okay. So this is early in
This is early in the
shows,
show.
Yeah.
But maybe
Oof.
that protects the voice. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know much about it. I haven't seen him in concert, and I can't afford to. But he looks like the type of person who couldn't go to a Simply Red concert as well in the music video.
Yeah, it's...
Bit of a Journey and Night Again look to me. Do you ever see Journey and Night Again?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
I have no idea what that is.
That was a John Cusack played it like he's a supporting role in it. It was a Disney movie about a girl going back to her father who's a lumberjack. I think there's a dog involved in it, and she kind of looks like she's got to ride the rails because she does to get there. Do you have the Disney Channel?
No.
Okay, well, I'll send it to you on YouTube.
Okay.
Anyways, go on, Frank. Let's talk music video. You got thoughts.
The video is interesting because it's kind of a day in the life of Mick Hucknall. What I love about it is it starts off with him collecting a bunch of tapes.
Right.
And putting them into a bag. And he's kind of sorting through, okay, what tape am I going to bring? And we need to probably talk to the younger listeners of what a tape actually is.
Right.
A tape or a cassette tape was a precursor to a CD. Now, a CD is a precursor to digital music.
That's right. Did you mention Laserdiscs at all? We don't want to talk about that.
We don't want to
Okay.
talk Laserdiscs.
Yeah.
I guess technically CDs are digital music, but they weren't online. They were actually physical
Right.
things.
Okay.
But that just reminds me of anytime going on a trip or anything like that, I had to make sure, okay, what tapes am I going to listen to on the bus, in the back of my parents' car, wherever, whatever mode of transportation we were taking.
Did you have a go-to sad tape? I'll tell you mine. Automatic for the People by REM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I listened to I Don't Have the Heart by James Ingram on repeat.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this one, he's collecting his tapes to leave home, but then does he start to reminisce about his early life? Like there's a young version of him there too, right?
Yeah, so kind of interspersed throughout Mick Hucknall walking through the streets of Manchester, I'm guessing, because that's where he grew up.
Right, but that abandoned, not abandoned, but that old castle he's in, it looks like he's at St. Andrews to me, but that's the only
It's a
place...
cathedral.
Okay.
It's the ruins of a cathedral.
Right, because it makes me think of St. Andrews, but I also realized that's the only place I was in England that looked like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't see anyone running on the beach. I didn't hear any evangelists, so I don't think it was.
So in the video, there's a young boy on the bike, and it's presumably his parents, and he falls, and his mother's picking him up and consoling him, and the father is sitting there with the classic British stiff upper lip.
Right.
This goes back to the pain, I suppose, that he's feeling with, he's waiting for his mom to hold him,
right.
But he's dealing with a father who might struggle expressing his emotions.
Right. Yeah. I just can't get out of my head. I'm just jumping ahead. Who's the woman making out in the cemetery? What is going on, Frank?
Okay.
I'm confused in this video.
That I get a little bit confused about myself because it goes to a classroom scene and there's a kid with a dunce cap on, which have you ever put a kid in a dunce cap before? Okay.
No, I'm not allowed to anymore.
Okay. But there is presumably Mick Hucknall's character as a young boy sitting in the front row of the class. And if I can say this, there's an attractive teacher at the front of the class. And she's exasperated because the class is misbehaving.
Yeah.
But Mick Hucknall's character is kind of looking at her longingly.
And she's looking back at him.
Yes, exactly. And then there's a cut scene where her and an older, obviously not a child, kissing in a field.
But is this a fantasy sequence? And is the boy fantasizing about just watching her make out? Or is he fantasizing about himself being that person, even though in his fantasy he's watching her?
Okay, there are a number of different places this can go.
Yeah, all of them seem like they're bad for us.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. My hope is that it is the boy's fantasy projecting in the future that he is in love with a woman like this teacher. And I very much hope that it's not. The teacher is looking back at the class and at him. There's a little bit of a look and you're wondering, okay, this better not be a Mary Kay Letourneau situation here.
Yeah, or that Van Halen video.
Oh yeah, hot for teacher.
Yeah, I got nothing to say about any of this, Frank. I just, I get vibes. You ever see the Bronski beat, Boy from a Small Town? Like the idea of leaving on a train and the harsh father. There's some of that there. And you can tell me as someone who, are we allowed to say red hair? Is ginger like the negative term or is red hair the proper term?
We allow people to call us gingers.
Okay,
yes.
Well, I can't get out of my head that he should be cradled by Rod Stewart in the back of a pickup truck.
Oh, yes. Forever young. That's right.
I think they're dressed in the same outfit. I mean, he's certainly older, but I'm like, and I know Forever Young comes a few years later, but man, there's a connection, and he takes over for Rod Stewart in Faces.
That's right,
I can't get this out of my head.
Yeah, okay.
So, not that that's fair to Mick Hucknall. He wouldn't like me saying that, but that's Rod Stewart. He's going to comfort you.
Yeah.
He's no Mater, but he's Rod.
So the video continues with Mick Hucknall walking about town, and he crosses paths with his bandmates. So one is playing in a one-man band type of thing.
Yeah.
And the rest of them are playing cricket. But then you get the trumpet solo.
Right.
And Tim Collette has said that it drives him absolutely bonkers that what he's playing doesn't sync up to the song. So he's looking at his fingers like that's not what's playing in the song right now. And he watches the video and he says that it drives him nuts that it isn't correct.
Well, I'm glad he spoke to like the 18 trumpeters who watched the video who care. No one else cares.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
You watch Top of the Pops, Tim? No one plays anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It has me thinking of like, I don't know, other videos. Now I'm thinking of Breathe. Somehow I'm thinking of Johnny Hates Jazz. There's a bunch of other, they don't sound the same, but there's certain feels I get. I feel the Breathe feel here somehow. That they should have almost dancers in the background.
Yeah, there's a number of videos that have this sort of walking through their childhood and progression into the future all of that other sort of stuff.
Yeah, because you got End of Innocence in my head now.
Yeah.
Also Show Me the Way by Styx. These are all later.
It is a trope in music videos, I suppose.
The makeout, watching the makeout scene.
No, I was thinking more about the traveling through your childhood.
Right.
So
I don't know.
I'm not working that blue, Bill.
No, yeah, okay. I don't know where my head's going on this, but I see it always in the videos. I'm like, what is going on?
I know, right?
Okay. All right, let's move to the next category.
You're trying to switch gears here, Bill.
Totally.
You're trying to save yourself.
Yes, I am. All right, Frankie, do you got a top 10?
Yes.
Okay.
The song peaked at number 1, July 12th, 1986. Now, for context, that is 28 days before my 9th birthday.
Okay, yes. 9 years old.
Sorry, correction. 29 days before my...
That's right. Well, yeah, 31 days in July.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Some of these songs are amazing. Some of these songs, again, zero idea.
Okay.
Number 10, Tough Enough, The Fabulous Thunderbirds.
Yep, don't know that one.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll look that one up, though, at some point.
Number 9, Your Wildest Dreams, The Moody Blues.
Yeah. And we did an episode on that. Okay, great.
That's right. Number 8, No One Is to Blame, Howard Jones.
Produced by Phil Collins. We also did an episode on it. Okay.
7, Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. Big song on the Top Gun soundtrack.
I love that song.
It's so good.
Future episode.
Yeah. Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel at number 6.
Former lead singer of Genesis. This is part of that big year. Oh, this is great. Also, I didn't realize what Sledgehammer was about when I heard it. We can't do this for the podcast because we're
family friendly?
Yeah, we're family friendly.
Yes. Okay. Number 5, Who's Johnny by El DeBarge.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4, Nasty by Janet Jackson. Song referenced earlier in the episode.
There we go.
Another song referenced earlier in the episode, There'll Be Sad Songs to Make You Cry by Billy Ocean.
How long was Billy Ocean in the top 5?
Billy Ocean was all over the place in the 80s.
Yeah.
He does not get the respect, I think, that he deserves.
No.
I love Billy Ocean.
We'll be doing more Billy Ocean episodes.
So that was number 3. Number 2, Invisible Touch by Genesis.
Oh, baby. Yes. Oh, the year of Genesis and Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. Oh, it's okay. Go on.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
And obviously number 1, Holding Back the Years by Simply Red.
Wow. Well, great place to be.
Somehow beating out Billy Ocean.
Just for a temporary time.
Yes.
Okay. Great top 10. Now, this is going to surprise you, but he has a Twitter account, Mick Hucknall.
Oh, does he?
Dedicated to just wine tasting.
It's called X, just so you know.
Oh, well, no, I'm not going to call it X. I'm going to call it Twitter. Now, we've talked about this category before. What wine would you pair with this, or what drink would you pair with this song? And we also talked about that person that we know, kind of like a couple degrees of separation, who was interviewed for the Fancy White Oaks magazine, which is our local tennis club, where she said, life's too short for bad wine.
Yes.
And I want to read to you from Mick Hucknall's wine-related Twitter account, where he just reviews wine.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Romani Saint Vivant 76 Leroy. Delicate hickory smoke, black cherry raspberry cream, period. Still youthful, period. Served with roast haunch of Sika, period. Joy.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I was going to give my witty reply of what wine would you pair with this song? And I would say Simply Red.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
But I don't want to say that now because I don't want to be associated with that review.
He makes
That's the absolute worst.
I know. He makes his wine on like the slopes of Mount Etna. Like Etna? Yeah, that's where he makes his wine. And he also has, he's got at a wine fair. He launched his own label. This is 2004. Produced at his vineyard in Sicily, as I talked about, modestly called Il Cantante, which means the singer, with the words, I'm sure this wine will go down well with our Prime Minister, Tony Blair. He's a good friend of mine, and like me, loves your country. I'm so angry. Okay. Yeah. I almost want to stick it to him. Not simply red wine. I'm like, well, you know what? I'll just pair it with whatever beer's in the fridge there, Mick.
Yeah, exactly. I will, perhaps a gin and tonic.
Okay, nice. Okay, I'm going to give a port wine with some dark chocolate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, this song, because it's a song of regret, this is the type of thing that you need to have just a glass of whiskey.
Right.
And just sip and contemplate and regret.
There is something to sitting in your sadness that feels good for a little bit. unless
Yeah,
you're,
for a little bit, yes.
unless you're there with the person, like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness,
Oh,
we got to
then
get
it's
out of
just
here.
depressing for you.
Totally. Okay. All right. There's our wine category. You got a Hallmark movie there, Frank?
No.
No, I don't want to do a Hallmark movie to this either.
This just make me sad.
Totally. Hallmark movies are supposed to end happily.
Yeah, the ending of the song picks up and it gives you that sort of glimmer of hope, but it's just so sad.
All right, let's put this to the challenge. What part of the song brings you joy?
Well, none of it does,
No,
really. But the part that I like the most is the holding. Oh! Was that as good as the first time or not?
That did not bring me any joy. Oh, wow. Okay.
How about you?
I'm going to go with that trumpet solo.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do like that holding on part, but that trumpet solo is just so special in
It
the
is
song.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Collette said about the trumpet solo, I can't effing believe it, man. We got a trumpet solo about that in the song, right?
It's unheard of
Yeah.
in since. I don't think it's been in anything unless it showed up in some weird sample. Okay, next up, mixtape. Frank, you have a title, I'm sure, and you have a mixtape. I'm looking forward to this.
Yes. So my mixtape explores that sort of familial relationship that you have that possibly could be troubled.
Okay.
Actually, 100% is troubled.
Okay, well,
Yes.
I'm ready for this really happy playlist.
Yes. Oh, it is so positive. It's called Moving On and Holding On.
Oh, all right.
I am starting off with Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin.
Oh, man, you started with such a sad song.
Oh, wait
Okay.
for it. Old Man, Neil Young.
Oh, okay. All right, what else you got for us?
The Weight, the band.
Yeah. Oh, Annie, right? Is that Annie?
No, you're thinking Smooth Criminal.
I knew it. Oh, he's talking to somebody in that. All right.
The Way It Is, Bruce Hornsby in the Range.
I played it for my grade 12 math class just before they had to write a test.
Yeah.
It was very mean-spirited.
And I'm finishing it all off with Fast Car by Tracy Chapman.
Oh, man. You ended with a gut punch.
I know.
Okay, well, I guess mine are kind of happier.
I don't think it gets sadder than that mixtape.
It can't. Mine, I'm just going to call The Years.
Okay.
These are all songs about years, but looking back on the years.
Okay.
Yeah. So you ready?
Can I predict that you're finishing it off with 1999 by Prince?
No, because it doesn't have years in the title.
But that's a year.
It is a year. You're right. I didn't do that.
Okay.
No. Okay. I'm opening with Can't Turn Back the Years.
Oh.
Phil Collins
Okay.
on his most personal album, Both Sides. An album I didn't like until I heard his next album. I said, well, it wasn't as bad as that Testify album.
So that wasn't a good one.
No, but Can't Turn Back the Years is a hard punch song,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful and sad, and you could have been happier, Phil Collins, if you made better choices. Okay, I'm going to leave him alone for the time being.
You know that there'll be sad songs, Bill.
They
That'll make
will
you
be.
cry.
They do make me cry. Steely Dan wondered if someone was reeling in the years.
Ah,
There you go.
yes.
Yeah. Now, for George Harrison, while he was contemplating his friend's death, John Lennon,
Mhm.
he sang about all those years ago.
Oh, yes.
And he had Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney on that as well.
That's
So,
right, yeah.
Yeah. All right, next up, Kenny Rogers, Through the Years.
Nice.
And we're going to bring it up a notch because those are all pretty sad. Colin James, 5 Long Years.
Ah, nice.
And I love you just the same. It's got a great sax solo.
But
Or
no trumpet solo.
no trumpet solo.
No.
You can't do that.
No. That's a pretty good mixtape.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I had a title, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that it wasn't nearly as sad as mine.
No, that was a tough one to end on.
That was, yeah.
I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. Holding. I said,
Well, we want to thank you for joining us for our trip through Holding Back the Years. Is everyone doing okay?
I think I am. I'm not 100% certain. Maybe we'll just...
Kind of ease off here.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
What do they call this a catharsis.
Yes.
Yeah, and, worked out well for Mick Hucknall. He did something, got me started years later, and he got his own winery.
I mean, he's doing okay.
He's doing okay.
Yeah.
We're doing great, too. I mean, we're hugely successful in our minds.
Yes, I'm glad that you brought up that you believe that we're successful in our minds, because when we put the podcast out initially, there was a lot of trepidation, and we weren't sure if this was going to reach out to a larger audience and how this was going to go. And even if perhaps, Bill, we aren't successful, we know that we'll keep holding on. Holding. Oh!
I was hoping you were going to give the full vocal. You've been listening to Bill and Frank's Guilt-Free Pleasures.